Not that one. I gotta look. What's it called? I don't know if it's funny. Yeah, go to it. There you go. You're damn safe. Oh, I bet I'm not connected to Wi-Fi. What his name was? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, it's a long
I told the guys that they were going to be open for a while. I said, well, there's something else about it. Let's fly or stuff for you. One of my sponsors tonight, sponsors of the gym.
All right.
We got to get around. I'll take copies. I'll put them around all of that.
Let's see how long my phone battery lasts. Anybody sit there? I think this is Damien. Should we get more chairs? Yeah.
Is he coming today? No.
She had a good time. Can you come next year?
Right here, I guess. I have not heard from him. I figured he'd be here.
Figured he would be too.
Yep. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Sorry about that. Yeah. For the Facebook page. Trying to figure out. Huh?
We should live stream Blue War at about 11:30.
I just rated jump sets, see where I have rated their
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
It is great to see you all here. Thank you for the effort coming down, and I'm sure we'll probably get a few more coming in the door yet, and that's great. For those who don't know me, I'm Ryan, Executive Secretary for the AGR, and we are just really excited this morning to have some people with us to talk about three different areas: our college, our flag, and our alumni. And so I'll introduce those people to you, but not a long introduction, but I'm just really excited that you're here and to get a breath of what's going on. And we don't want to hold them up. I did put a little agenda together. There's no set time frames for anything, so between the three, just divide up however you want to. And that'll be great. If there's time, we'll get Dr. Asgar to come in that time slot too. If not, we've got a business meeting, and I think you're available, for that too. Great. Before we get started, I want to thank the chapter for, getting things here and set up, and I want to especially thank Susan Graham. Susan, thanks again for all the coordination, being here early. Let's give her a hand. She opened up for us and got everything going, and that's just great. So without delaying anything more, to start off, I'd like for our Chancellor, Dr. Caldwell, to address us a little bit about the university and what he sees happening. And I know you read the papers every day, but the one that's important to us is Southern Illinois University. And so, Brad, would you please address the group? And thank you for being here very much. Okay.
Thank you all for the opportunity to be here. If you don't mind, like last year, I'll sit right on the edge of the desk, make myself at home. I appreciate it. Yeah. two pancake breakfasts and some Dunkin' Donuts later. There's another one on my business table. But anyway, thank you all for. There's not a budget crisis for food. It's good to be here. Thank you so much for a good meeting last night. For those of you who were there, it was. You know how to put on a celebration for 65 years. It was very well done. Loved the auctioneer. That young lady was fantastic and raised money for a really fun cause. Anyway, I'll let others talk about that. But for those who had a hand in that, well done. Thank you so much. Not only does it make college look good, it makes the university look good. University looks good, I'm happy. And for the alums that come back, people want to feel good about being a Saluki, and we've got to give them a reason to do that. So we've always got to put our best foot forward in all that we do, because we're always representing something spectacular. And you all know how to do that. I'm working with other colleges to get them there, but you all know how to represent your college and do it well. So for that, I'm very grateful. A couple things going on at the college. We have no money. Next. And I say that, but I say that in transparency and honesty, but yet the truth of the matter is we're going to be okay. I think that's kind of oxymoronic, but the truth of the matter is that they're not going to let us starve to death. They're not going to let us. We're not at starvation level yet, but we're getting closer every month that we don't get a budget. It does hurt, because our payroll every month is about $20 million. For this campus, so everybody's like, oh. And I will tell you, we've not taken a lot of action with personnel, meaning cuts. You look at northeastern Illinois, the the north and the east of Illinois. How about that? They're taking one furlough day a week. That's eating into their employees' paychecks. We're not doing that. We understand that we're the economic engine of Southern Illinois. Matter of fact, south of Springfield, when you combine the three campuses together, between Springfield, S, and Edwardsville, we're by far the largest employer. SIH runs a close second, and General Tire, Continental Tire, wherever they are now. But we're there, and we know by our impact studies that if we do things to impact this campus, the trickle down for every dollar we spend is about $7 or $8 multiplied out in the community. And we have studies that show by county how many alums we have and how much how much I put out in payroll to the employees that live in those counties. So we're not just an educational center, which is obviously first and foremost. That I hope goes without saying. Yet I also know that we play an important role in an economic engine, cultural, you name it, arts, humanities. We play a key role there. But unfortunately, I don't know what to do. Greg, maybe you can tell us what to do. I don't know. But somehow, when sitting with all the politicians, they almost seem helpless in a way. They kind of have this sad look on their face that others are controlling things, which they probably are. And I will tell you, it's not for lack of trying to get the message out. I will tell you, you can speak to that a little yourself, but I think that all the universities, all the colleges are doing what they can to say, hey, we need some help here. Do you value us as a state? And what role are we going to play as higher education? So the state's got some decisions they have to make. It's going to cost them some money, and they're just going to have to figure it out. But I will say this, don't just look at SIU in a vacuum. As someone said earlier, it's throughout the state. Matter of fact, SIU is probably doing pretty darn good in comparison to some of these other schools who literally are worried about the light bill. I'm not worried about the light bill. Will things look different in this campus a couple of years from now if we don't start? Yes. But hopefully we're not talking about shutting major arteries of the campus down. But we may look at trimming certain things here and there. But please distinguish a trim from a complete lopping off. Are you with me? We will not shut this place down. I'll stand up here, promise you that 1,000,000 times over. You will graduate if you come here. We will, unlike the University of Iowa, if anyone's familiar with that, their president sent a letter. Is anybody familiar with what I'm about to say? Some of their returning students saying, sir, we will no longer honor your academic scholarships. Sent out 2,500 letters to students saying, we will not honor your scholarships next year. Well, I wasn't even sure Iowa was hurting. I know everyone's hurting, but I just keep hearing about us. We're kind of the poster child for bad budgeting, or no budgeting. But anyway, it's happening throughout. And what I think is a little unfortunate is how we get compared. Folks, let me be very, very clear with you, with no disrespect intended, we are not Southeast Missouri. We're not Murray State. We're not Edwardsville. I'm not upset about that. I don't apologize one thing. I'm tickled to death. Because we're a national doctoral research institution. You all are doing things in this very college that none of those three other institutions could even come close to. It's not because they are dumb people. They don't have the facility, they don't have the equipment, they don't have the infrastructure, they don't have the history, they don't have the supportive alums, they don't have the connection with industry that we have that allow us to do even something like this here today. They don't have the pictures on the wall that represent a 65-year history, of a banquet like we had last night. And again, I'm not being disrespectful. I hope you understand that. I'll never disrespect our competition. But what I will do is tell them what we do better. That I have no problem with. I absolutely, you heard me last night. I talked about what our students do and our faculty do. I bust my buttons. I'm so proud. My big belly here can hardly stay in. But I'll go anywhere and everywhere and tell anyone how strong we are. And because I want you as alums to feel good about what our students are doing. Now, do we have administrative, do we have financial, do we have, yeah, that happens in any large complex organization. But I'm looking at our students. Are we serving these folks in the back rows here as we should? Are we doing what we need to do as alums and administrators to make sure these folks can go out and not only represent SIU, but do something for the ag industry that can add value? Are we allowing them to be able to do that? And the answer is yes, 100% yes. And if you all see it differently, then you got to let us know where we can make those changes, because that's what we aspire to be. When you take the call, and the problem is, I'm losing a perception battle. It's not in College of Ag, it's a university battle. They think we're an unsafe campus. Friends, let me tell you, we are not an unsafe campus. I get crime reports every day, every night. Matter of fact, I can show you one from last night and you'd chuckle. We had an unlocked door in Wam. I had an intoxicated male in one of the residence hall lobbies, and we had to do a welfare check because a parent hadn't heard from their kid in 3 days. Oh, and they did the women's basketball game patrol, or security. That, my friends, was last night's security report on a Friday night in Carbondale. Now, on campus. Now, with no disrespect intended, please don't tell a soul this, but I'll share it with you. Go down to Cape Girardeau and tell me what their police report was last night. I will with a bulletproof vest. I should have said that, but, you know.
You're right, Jackson.
Yeah. But it's the truth. And then if you go up to Champaign-Urbana, unfortunately, they're having some real significant issues for those of you who follow that particular line of news with, unfortunately, now a sexual assault. It's awful. And other universities, and again, I just probably never should call names, but you get passionate about these things, and I get, quite frankly, tired of it. Because we get labeled with, oh, well, I just can't send my kid to Carbondale. Why not? We're the best thing that's happening. What makes us unique? I love our geography. I love this place. Who else is tucked away in a national forest like we are? We're a national doctoral institution, folks. This is the equivalent of coming to a mini University of Illinois. And a lot of our folks don't understand that because we've allowed others to determine who we are, to portray our perception of who we are and how we think about ourselves. I need you to be cheerleaders for me. I'm looking for all you men. You're going to be my cheermen. How about that? But, no, I mean, sorry.
That's all right.
There's two of them. Okay. But I need you all to be armed back. And I'll be happy to share that with you. Mickey will, Susan will, Karen will, whoever. To let you know when you go out there what the story is to tell. Because since we are a national doctoral granting institution, it costs us more to run master's and doctoral programs. SEMO and Murray and Edwardsville do not have those equivalent master's and doctoral programs. If you take the cost of what it takes us to do that and put that cost onto Murray and SEMO and Edwardsville, they're all within $500 to $1,000 of us. Some of you saw Channel 3 run this ridiculous story a week ago. For those of you who saw it, the lead story, SIU is double SEMO in the cost. That's just the silliest thing I've ever heard. No, it's not. Compare apples to apples, friends. So we're getting a bad knock out there, and I want you to know, I'm really sounding like a politician now, aren't I? Running for it.
Or running from them.
Exactly. I'm running as fast as I can. But I want you to know we're out there trying to get that message. It's not easy because it's been allowed to happen for quite some time. Well, now we're going to push back. And I will tell you, when we had a budget, we just kind of mumbled along because we're like, okay, but we're losing a few students and others are, kids are going to SEMO, kids are going here, there, wherever. And it's all right because we still got a state budget to cover us. That state budget is now disappeared for the last 18 or so months, and what we've had to do is take a hard look at who we are and what we're going to do for our future. Folks, right now it's about the future. I know a lot of people are hand-wringing about the money. I get that. With no disrespect to that I'm so far beyond that. I'm looking at 5 years from now, what are we gonna look like? How can we plan now for 5 years? Are we gonna be in this building? You know, will those greenhouses be long gone? Or, you know, what will this place be? What will the university farms look like? That's what you all need to decide. But it's my job to push you there, to say, be thinking about what that means to get us there, and spread that word, share that message so we can re-engage industry, our alums, our donors who can get excited and get behind us. I got to do that for every college on this campus. The problem is, we've got some people here, probably even in this very room, that certainly on campus that don't quite yet believe that. They're discouraged. They're demoralized a little bit. I've got to pump them up. Because, well, the employees know you haven't seen a raise in what?
4 or 5 years.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years. And if this whole Ask Me thing plays out, like you've been watching on, if you follow popular media, now they've authorized a strike. Ask Me will determine what our benefits look like and how much we have to pay for insurance, even though we're not affiliated with Ask Me. They're determining the state employee benefits and how much we're going to pay for our premiums. And so everybody's worried that our premiums are going to go whee. So I've got a little bit of a morale problem of people, you know, saying, Brad, I can't be asked to do much more. You know, poor Susan, if I ask you or Michelle to do much more, or your employees, before we go. You know, so, but we've got to, but despite that, I've got to do my very best to remain encouraged, have you remain encouraged, go out and tell somebody that this place is on the move and heading in the right direction. Now, are we going to be down in enrollment this fall? We're certainly not going to be up. We're going to fight hard just to be even. I'll tell you that right now. But that being said, this particular college, you're leading the way. There's good things happening here, and if I can get everyone else out there to work as hard as you are and have that same vision and for students and success, you know, we'll get there. We really will. And so I just want everyone to remain encouraged. I should say I'm done, but I probably got a few more things you want to ask me. But that's probably the biggest message I can tell you is we're going to be here. We're going to be okay, because I will tell you, you got to take advantage of the crisis too. Hope that's management 101 for some of you alums and managers, because there's some things that I could have never, ever, ever, ever gotten accomplished without this. Because people were just content to do, well, now we all realize there's things we have to do differently. And so we're taking advantage of that, try to clean up our business practices to the extent we can, be better customer service oriented folks. I had a couple people say it last night, and I can't believe I'm even saying it, but higher education, it's a business. There is a tremendous business aspect to it when you're facing it. Because most professors and faculty want to hear me say, well, Brad, you're a former faculty, you should say it's all about the books and the wisdom and the pedagogy of making us theoretical whatever. I firmly believe that. I absolutely, 200% firmly believe that, but yet I also have to pay the bills. Folks, we can't give it away. You realize I say $21 million in graduate assistantships last year just on waived tuition. $21 million that went woo. But do I still support graduate education? You bet I do. So what that means is, at some point, somebody will have to take in a few students to pay. And that was just tuition. I didn't count the $20 million that we paid stipends. That's $42 million of revenue. I shouldn't say revenue, of money that was spent. You're going to say, Brad, you're going to shut GA for graduate assistants down? No, of course not. We just have to be smart, and I need to make people aware. Because I have some programs that won't take a graduate student unless they can give it to them for free. Well, that's great if we can afford to do that. But we can't. So therefore, everything is it's in moderation. Everything in moderation. I hope that makes sense, because folks, it's not about the here and now, because we're going to hit the 150th anniversary in 2019, and we're going to celebrate like there's no tomorrow. So we're going to be here for another 150. Again, that's not my concern. But my concern is we've got to be smart. We can't continue to do what we did the last 150 years and expect the state to be there for us. The state will not be there for us. So therefore, we are going, God forgive me, we're going to have to learn how to generate revenue. I heard it yesterday in Cincinnati for 3 hours. There was nothing but, it was a finance meeting, and they were just talking about how can we sell our services to generate revenue, because the state, we cannot count on them. We did, and look where we're at. So why should we be foolish and repeat that again? We've got to, now, they'll be there for a few pennies, don't misunderstand. But you realize we've lost $98 million out of our budget since 2010. Since 2010, the fiscal year, the end of this past fiscal year, in July of 2016, between lost tuition and lost state dollars, $98 million. That is 1/3, almost a percentage of our budget. Gone. And how is it being made up? It's being made up through, there's no layoffs. You haven't seen any layoffs. You haven't seen furloughs. You haven't seen things being lopped off. What's happening is positions aren't being refilled. If you retire, we wish you well. You'll get the gold watch or whatever with a handshake, but unless that is just absolutely 100% essential positions, probably not getting filled. Friends, retirement is not strategic. It is for the individual, but it's not for me, because Michelle might retire tomorrow, or it might be just, who knows who's going to retire tomorrow? You don't know, or leave for whatever reason. A lot of people are leaving Illinois for other states who can afford to do a little better with salary. And so that's how we're kind of making things up. But I say all that only, and then I'll stop to say, we understand what's going on. We work this. I wish, and Randy and I have laughed about this some on a daily basis. I wish I could tell you that there's great leadership, folks. You're not seeing a whole lot of great leadership here. What you're seeing is crisis management. Every day, I'm putting out another fiscal fire, or some little something that pops up. I'm tired of that. I want to, Randy, let's lead. Let's just take this place to the next level. Let's just go. We got to do something bold, something outside the box that will take you all to the next level, so that you all will be sitting up here, 10, 15 years from now. And I want you to have the confidence to know that that's happening. But I also want to explain to you what's happening right now. Some of the negative things you're hearing, it's probably truth to it. But I want you to hear the whole story, which is we're going to survive. You're going to be just fine. College drag will be here. It's not going anywhere. Now, might we reorganize? Now, here's one last thing. We can't be all things to all people. You all need to think about that too, even here in college drag. Just like Michelle has to for the Alumni Association. Just like education. Every dean, every program has to think that we do all things. So that's how the Mike Morris set us up. That would be for you students at Morris Library, Mike Morris. We were set up like a mini, again, University of Illinois. Whatever you saw at University of Illinois, wait a little bit to come down here in some form or fashion, which was great. But unfortunately now, it may be a little beyond our scope. And I will tell you where the state's pushing us. The state's pushing us to pockets of excellence. Such as, if you want agriculture in the state of Illinois, you come to SIU or U of I. If you want aviation, come to SIU. If you want, make it up now, English, then you go to Northern and Illinois State. Are you with me? Now, we'll still offer English classes if you want a PhD. If they want every institution offering a PhD in math, PhD in English. The Bruce Rounders and the one that's the flip in fiction. I don't know. But I don't care if you agree with it or disagree with it, I think that's where we're heading, so we've got to at least be prepared for it. Also, to two-year institutions, which I love my local friends, they are the best, probably best one could hope for in their current leadership. But probably the community colleges in the next few years will be offering 4-year degrees as well. I mean, it is hot right now. It is hotter than a firecracker. Now, they're not going to be doing it in every major. They're starting out with nursing, and then, which I don't think Logan's interested in doing, but others are. And once we get into that, so again, there's going to be some competition there as well. And so what do we have to do? We've got to keep thinking ahead to how we're going to refine ourselves, define ourselves, and what kind of pocket of excellence are we going to be here in Carbondale, because I don't think we can afford to be all things to all people in some mediocre way. I would much rather us, because you hear it now, our aviation program. You know, I hear about that quite a bit. And I'm not mentioning you all on purpose because I don't want to leave anybody out. Or, oh, our speech debate team, oh, our blah, blah. You know, just, you hear it now. And so, my concern is if it starts heading that way, are we prepared for that? And so, anyway, just a lot of things going on, but I just want to reassure you all that we're thinking about those things. I want to, one of my personal goals, classroom space. I want to make sure our classrooms are ready for the 21st century. For you all, your classroom and your lab may be, you know, the farms and the greenhouses. Like I said, we're working as we speak almost on to deal with the greenhouse. It's very important on our plate. But with the traditional classroom, whenever I was at my old institution, I spent over $1 million just to renovate 3 classrooms. Get rid of these chairs. We wrote on the wall. I had that special paint where you could write on the walls with group work. We had monitors on this side of the wall. We had stuff hanging out of the ceiling and I don't know what all. But it was an exciting, engaging classroom where kids could learn. Something like what you see on the sixth floor of the Library of Morris, I had those all through my building. That's what I want here. We should never lose focus of what we are. It's an educational institution. You come first, we've got to give you a good place to learn, but also understanding that how we fund things are probably going to change. So we need to be prepared to take those steps to help generate more revenue. It's not as reliant on the state. And we're going to work that plan. We're going to stick with that plan. And see why I get in trouble now? She knows. I keep looking. Please note, we've been watching the composition of our student body very carefully. We're not just letting anybody in. Even though we know that it hurts our enrollment, we're not going to just, if someone's not college ready, they can try another avenue, another alternative. We need them when they're college ready. And look what's happened. You get police reports like this, where nothing's happening. In the classroom, you know, you can ask the Garys of the world, are the quality of our students getting better, Gary? Absolutely. See? And that's what people want. Quality attracts quality. You students want to be in classrooms with kids who you think are at least equal to you or above. Iron sharpens iron. That's what we're after. It's going to take a little while for us to get there, because, you know, in the past, we kind of just let anybody and everybody to some extent. Well, you know what, folks? We're better than that. We're better than that. And so, a lot of things happening. Just be comforted in the fact that we are trying to do the right thing, but you still need to give us your input. There's still a lot of things we don't know when we need to hear from you all, but we also need your comments. Like I said, we need to go out there and talk to SI in a positive way. Say, yeah, I know things are fiscally tough. By golly, Caldwell, he's just crazy enough to go out there and think outside the box with his team of deans and whatnot to really do something that will engage the agricultural community from now till whenever. So anyway, that's just what I wanted to share with you all. Please do whatever you can to support our students, because they deserve it. I mean, we have got a good group of kids, not just ag ambassadors, but I've got student ambassadors. We've got all kinds of ambassadors running around here. If I get give you trouble too. But I'll tell you, we got good folks here, and one more time, remember, Brad likes to burst his buttons over the caliber of what we're doing here, and I don't want a single person ever to hang their head and say, oh yeah, we're just from Carbondale. No, dang it, we're from Carbondale. We got something going here, and like I said, just geographically, this is a beautiful campus, folks, and you know that. You all know that. We need to celebrate the beauty of the campus. We need to celebrate. There's so much to celebrate here. And like I said, I'm going to have to be the cheerleader in chief. That's okay. I'm going to do that. To keep pushing this university forward so that you'll have something to look forward to. Can I answer any questions for you?
Chancellor?
Yes, sir.
Being around this town about 75 years, I'd just like to make a couple of, and being a trustee at Johnny Logan College, and I agree that we've had the best relationship I think we've ever had my 20 years there. But when you're talking about the press, TV stations, I mean, they like to bite the hand that feeds them. But this local newspaper is not quite as bad, I don't think it was. But it's getting a little better. But the TV station, they do the same thing to us, they do it to you. And then, of course, if somebody trips over the sidewalk in Carbondale, Channel 12 out of Cape Girardeau is up here to blow it way out of proportion. And yes, there once in a while the drug dealers go down or whatever. But every once in a while there's a shooting around town someplace. I mean, I don't think it is like it is in Cape. But I complimented the city chief of the police department the other day. Hey, there's been a few of these shootings around, but 9 times out of 10, somebody's ended up in Jackson County Jail over it. And I don't think all these other communities around can say that. So somebody's going to get the word one of these days between the SIU police and Carbondale police. They're on top of it. Somebody's getting locked up. I mean, it's not just, hey, gangbangers or whoever shot and they're gone. Somebody usually ends up jail. So
I'll echo that with Jake, because I'm being in public safety. I kind of watch what's going on in the state, and he's right. You guys are making arrests down here and trying to put people away, and it's not happening in other parts.
This past week, students, you'll know that we had to send out a timely warning. We got a text from us where there was folks with a gun. In this federal laws, we had to report that out. But ask yourself, this is the whole story. I would never give you half stories. Don't misunderstand. But is there more that we know that we can't say? The answer is yes. And I can say it to some extent. People, oh, it was kids, blah, 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 coming and it was drugs. Oh, was it? It was a fight over a girl. They came over to the towers and got the boyfriend, the kid who was kind of moving in on the girl. They were going to rough him up. The kids who were going to rough him up were inebriated, drunk. And the kid who was about to get beat up popped the drunk kids in the face. They got embarrassed, got mad. Found this kid out on Park Street that beat him up and started chasing him with a gun. Nothing happened on campus. They knew exactly who these kids were. They caught 2 of them but couldn't find the 3rd one yet, so we had to issue a timely warning. And so therefore, then the media picks up on that, and it was on all the major networks that we've got a gun problem. One deep, I mean, it was over a girl, they were drunk, they all knew each other. The cops knew exactly what was going on. We had them videoed, we could identify them, but yet we still had to, and then the media runs with it. So anyway, those are the kind of things we have to live with. But always ask, is there more to the story? And there usually is, because, friends, this truly is a campus that, no, I don't know, I can't speak here 4 or 5 years ago because I just wasn't here, I don't know. But I can speak for the here and now. Thank you, guys. Anything else I can help you with? Yes, sir.
I'm talking about a couple part question here. I got a 3-year-old, and a 6-year-old, and we talked about changing sources of revenue. So my financial advisor ran their models, and for those boys to go to school here, in-state tuition, when they're 18, we're looking at $250,000. Is what the models are showing. So when you talk about, that's not sustainable for people to interact with the degree. So when you talk about changing
switch the order of his questions. What's the future of brick, mortar? Sorry, Jake, right out the door. Sorry about that. Okay. I can tell you this summer, for instance, we will have more students taking online classes than there will be physically present here. Started last year, no one really, we didn't intend for it to happen necessarily, but we kind of wished it didn't happen. This year, we know that will be the case. I mean, it's been coming like this for a while. There we go. Okay. Get my fingers right. On class, especially in summers, going this way, fall, or others going this way. We know that. We have to prepare for it. Here, there'll still be bricks and mortar, but it's going to be geared toward the classrooms that support the e-learning. Because with no disrespect, folks, there's not a whole lot of kids in Southern Illinois. It's going to be high school. I mean, it's a small, it's a shrinking base. I mean, I wish we could get every student from Southern Illinois, to come here, but even then, that funnel keeps shrinking a little bit. So we know we've got to go this way. And just like with our international students, a lot of universities are making their bread and butter off international students right now, especially from China. Well, depending upon how that goes the next year or two, there's a lot of fear. And so that's going to possibly drive that pipeline up as far as their physical presence. So everyone's kind of smartening up to this notion of how can we allow a kid to, if they choose to want to stay at home or be wherever, or be 10,000 miles away and still get their tuition dollars and be able to get the expertise of a Gary Apgar, whatever the class might be. Now, that can't happen in every class. We can't replicate every single class via computer, especially you all. Maybe you can represent a cow, I don't know, on a computer or whatever. Don't know. We will one day probably, but we're not quite there yet. So there will always be a need for brick and mortar, but I don't think you're going to see these huge, lavish buildings anymore. You're not going to see big, lavish student centers anymore. The one thing you will see that's lavish, believe it or not, though, will probably be athletic facilities. I can't believe I just said that to you all, but that's probably the, because there's certain things where it just have to happen on campus, and so people are willing to come and pay for those type of things. Now, to answer his first question about money, we know it's going to be terribly expensive. It's almost, what he's talking about is almost a private school funding model, where the tuition, if you paid the full cost, would be exponentially this way, but then they turn around and offset it with tremendous financial aid. Obviously we got to look at our financial aid model, but when I'm talking about other sources of revenue, I'm talking about other sources of revenue that will, might not supplant the state, but it will certainly, not leave. I'm talking about needing to bring in hundreds of millions of dollars through economic development, through grantsmanship, through sales of service, really thinking outside the box. And it was because we were in Cincinnati, and the University of Cincinnati led the discussion yesterday on external models of revenue and selling of services. Right now, the Dean of the College of Education made $11 million last year on sales of service to K-12 schools, interpreting data, just things like that. And he said, I just tipped the iceberg. There are things we can do to leverage what we have here that would allow us to do some things. We've just never been asked to do that before. And it might be uncomfortable for some folks, but we really do have to explore that. But it's not to sit there and make your kid, $250,000. If that's the case, we'll be a school of less than 1,000. Nobody can afford it. What else? Anything? Because I know I need to not take up any more of your time, but I'd be happy to answer questions.
We've let out-of-state tuition go now, right?
Yes.
Yes. That should open up an avenue.
Yes, sir. We are the second university in the state. And, it was interesting. I'll tell you how it came to me. Because Western started doing it or was thinking about it. I had a friend from Missouri who's interested in coming here. He was the best man at my wedding, or his daughter coming here. And he's my secret shopper. He said, Brad, I can't believe I just got this. It makes no sense to me. He's like, send it to me. Let me see. He got a letter that said, welcome, your daughter Katie, excuse me, is welcome to SIU, she's been fully admitted, blah, 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 and then got the form letter. If you live in another state, you got this alternative rate. If you're a legacy student, you've got this. If you're legacy and international, you get this and this. If you're legacy and can hop on the lake, you get this, this, and this. Sorry for being silly. But it's because, Brad, this is so confusing, I can't understand it. And he said, I have a master's degree in mathematics, and I teach at Shawnee Community College. I can't make heads or tails of this. I said, send it to me. I looked at it, and it's like, we're not being consumer friendly at all. Wonder if it's possible if we could just find a way to wipe the slate clean. I thought, oh boy, the politicians are going to get mad. Because, you know, we're a state-sponsored or supported school. And then Randy, Deb, and I started talking. It's like, well, we are, but no, we're not. Not really. We can, you know, get games off. They're not paying anything. So if they're leaving it up to us, we want to think outside of the box and basically say, you know what, y'all come. If you're qualified and you want to come to this institution, you're paying in a state rate. Now, please understand it's only for incoming freshmen, kind of a thing. And for the increases that you're seeing in tuition, please understand, you folks, you're locked into what you came to 4 years ago, or whatever you came in as a freshman, that's what you're locked in at. These increases don't impact you. Yes, we have done that. We're trying to do the right thing, to get rid of any hurdles or barriers that would not confuse people, allow them to use their legacy now, which is really what this is allowing people to do. We're getting a lot of happy customers. Sorry for taking up so much of your time, and I hope it wasn't too technical for you. But again, please understand the underwriting message is that we're just trying to do the right thing, take this place to the next level. I'll be happy to get emails from you or anything to that effect. And if you're curious as to what we're doing, you can go to my webpage. I believe it's there, where we have the report from the non-academic review committees. Is that on my webpage? You're free to look at it. Just click on my Chancellor page, go under Messages, and on one of the messages is the report that was sent to me saying this is what we're going to start. We're recommending to you, Chancellor, to look at to take this place to the next level with efficiencies and different things. So we want to be very transparent as well, so that you all get a chance to look at that and comment accordingly. So with that, I will go eat my pancakes unless you have anything else for me. But thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate it very much. Thanks. 40
minutes. This is again, I think it's pretty special. We have a chance to address our group and bring that message. And I don't think things are really looking up. I appreciate it. I'm sorry. On behalf of all.
This is better than the Alumni Association. I took 45 minutes there. So. Thank you all
very much for your
time.
Thanks. Michelle, do you want to go next? Okay. Stick with the ag program there as we go. Michelle Perez is the executive director of the Alumni Association. Our belonging as alumni, and I recently, thanks to Steve White and a few others, have gone on to the board representing the College of Agriculture. Steve Place, Steve's a member of large, and being an opportunity to know Michelle a little better.
I just want to take care of your business though, because Joe, you're here from the, can you come up, Joe? For those of you who don't know, I was the person who was in the bidding war with his mother last year. So I do want to make a donation to the council, but I'll take that, please. I was really looking forward to having somebody come and mow my lawn. And I really wanted to see somebody put a swimming pool in, all of that in 2 hours.
Maybe a second job, you know.
There you go. I did not know, but I thought as the alumni contact, I thought certainly I had to at least bid on for some of that. But
The AGR has to take donations.
okay. No. My husband was very excited to hear that. Now, is there a group with the college that does come and clear firewood? Is that what we heard last night? Okay. Okay, because he was very excited about that. So probably we'll be in contact with someone. So as Rick mentioned, my name is Michelle Suarez. I'm the executive director for the Alumni Association. I'm a 2-degree alumna of this institution. It's a great institution, so I really appreciate your time and letting me talk a little bit today. Just two things I want to mention. We are trying very hard as an association to find more ways to engage alumni. So one of the things that we launched last fall with undergraduate admissions was the opportunity for alumni to help to recruit students. So if you go to our website and you sign up, someone from admissions will contact you, and they will send you a list of 10 or so names of students that reside in your region, and then they'll ask that you personally contact them. You can do it by email, or you can do it by postcard. So if you'd like to help with that effort, we kicked that off, as I said, last fall. We're really going to get it moving again this year. We had about 40 or 50 people participate, and it went very, very well. So please consider that. And then very excited about a program that we introduced to the Provost and the Dean's Council earlier this month, which is gaining traction. I'm excited about that. And that is a student alumni mentoring program. This fall, if we can stay with that aggressive timeline, we will be launching that program. And it will allow students to engage with alumni through an electronic platform on 3 different levels. A very low level opportunity to connect with someone based on whatever criteria you choose, whether it's your major or first degree college or something like that. And then 2 other levels, which would involve internships, and then even a 3rd level, which would involve an opportunity to get classroom credit. So watch for that to happen. As I said, we're going to try to roll that out this fall. And like you said, it's gaining traction, so watch our website for that as well, and certainly we'll make sure that the college is informed of what's happening. And then finally, for those of you who are seniors in the room, raise your hands. Watch your emails. Next month, you'll have an opportunity to join the association, comprehensive board, Rick and Steve, and we hope you would do that because we want you to stay engaged. We want you to continue to be connected to your alma mater. That's really all I wanted to say. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Well, thank you again. Oh, yes.
Michelle, I think we do have several alumni groups that are strewn throughout the country. So you might help us know how you get connected with them depending on where you are. And get linked up in that.
Sure, absolutely. So there's different kinds of groups, alumni groups. There are those that are geographically based and those that are affinity based. So for example, if you're a member of the Marching Salukis, they have a Marching Salukis alumni group. So they're all over the country. Others are geographically based. And actually where we're lacking, I'll be honest with you, Southern Illinois, we do need to build a group here. But if you reside in the Springfield area, Chicago area, Peoria area, there are individuals there that are trying to get alumni engaged and the different opportunities that are there. The reality is that millennials don't necessarily, and you guys can tell me if I'm right or wrong, necessarily come together as groups. You're probably doing more on social media and those kinds of things. Is that accurate or no? Some nodding your head. So we're actually taking a look at the kinds of models that we have in place now to see what we should be doing in the future. So if anybody has any ideas about that, I'd love to hear them. I'm not a millennial, but we certainly want to build the organization and keep the networking and connections going. So. But go to our website, you can find them there, sialumni.com.
Well, thank you for taking the time. Well, to hear something that's close to our heart now, Dean Latour would like to address us and share some of the things going on here at College of Aces. And what's happening, Dean?
Well, I do appreciate the opportunity to be here. Thanks, Rick.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So I would like to make a couple comments. First of all, those of you that attended last night, I certainly hope you recognize the level of event, the engagement, the excitement of that room, being camouflaged in the sense that things are great. You can't camouflage that. It was a great event. It was a wonderful event. It was great to see so many students and doing so well. There's a couple pieces that I want to share with you how the college is uniquely different than many other colleges on campus. So when I started in 2012, there was a tremendous amount of pressure to admit essentially anyone. Okay? No different from what Chancellor's talking about. That came with some baggage. As a college, we made the decision to raise the ACT to a minimum of 18. If you happen to be below that, you have to petition to get in, and we would look at a certain circumstance and maybe you could. Fast forward, that's paid dividends. We have over 60% of our students have over a 3.0, 35% of our Dean Scholars with 3.5 or greater, The number of students that are on probation or suspension is less, it's dropped by twofold. Our graduation rates are 10 points higher than the campus average. And our retention rates are also 10 points higher. We lead on every possible front. And one thing the Chancellor did mention, and it is confidential the way in which they distribute it because it's so sensitive about enrollment. We, on paper currently, are the only college predicted to be up in the fall. The only one. That is the great things that are going on in this college and the great things that our faculty do, our staff, what you do. So I want you to know things are good. Now, are we facing challenge? You bet. There's a couple things that we have been doing that I want to send these posters around because this is a little unique in terms of making these posters. But I want to give you a little context of this before I pass it around. So in 2012, when I first started, we would typically bring in just about everyone in this class has been in FFA or some other connection in high school with agriculture. We typically bring in about 2,000 to 2,500 high school FFA kids every year through college in some capacity. We consistently bring in about 150 to 180 students every fall. You do the math on that, so we're bringing in about 5%. If you assume it's coming out of that population, we're getting 5% of that. There's a lot of students there that still appreciate ag, that we know are going to be in nursing or engineering or something. It took a little conversation within our college to say, let's open that up and get the other colleges involved. We wholeheartedly believe that if we can populate this campus with good people, just like in Australia, we will change the whole conversation for the entire area. So you no longer relying just on the Carbondale region to pull it. We're pulling these students from all over the place that are competing. We initiated 2 huge events. So in the fall, we have a competition for all these schools that come in. There's about 650 coming in the fall. They compete and work with our faculty and stuff. Then we bring them to a basketball game in January. So I'm going to give this to Steve and he can pass it that way. It's a basketball game they come to. The other one is, within the entire region, we bring the FFA students here for a Green Hand workshop. This is 600 FFA kids, and I'll pass this around so that they can do their workshop here on campus. So we're making a tremendous investment in what we consider our people across the entire campus. And at this point, what we're doing is pushing down the barriers that it doesn't matter to us if they end up in education, mathematics, or where. We want them to be here on this campus. We want to change the flavor. Because I always would tell the Chancellor and the Provost, when he talks about some of those issues, some of our kids may be involved in cow tipping, but some of these other issues you see, that's not us. I have not once called to the Chancellor's office in all 5 years being here because of issues. Not once. It could happen, but I anticipate that we are going to continue to have the kind of culture and the dynamics that we want in college. Moving forward, I know it's sensitive. When individuals leave the institution, they typically hold those positions, but I want you to know that 3 positions go forward. Next Thursday and Friday, we're interviewing for a new farms director. We have an individual out of Iowa and 2 locals, so that's going forward. And I just got released yesterday and they're advertised 2 tenure track positions. One's a soil scientist, that's going forward. The other one's in human nutrition. Those are going forward. So the Chancellor didn't mention that. He's probably unaware of that because he gets pushed through, but those are going forward. So I do look at that as the Chancellor and them, even though the budget is tight, things are difficult, they are allowing us to make some investments in college, so I do appreciate that. So I will leave you with that, and I'll take any questions you may have, but do know things are exceptionally good within the college. Certainly we feel the pressure of the state budget. There's no question about that. But it was long-term planning 4 or 5 years ago what we did, and it is paying off. It is certainly paying off. And I knew that at the time when we were talking about it, it's only a short-term gain. If you start pushing people over a fence and pushing the bar down on the ground, that would create a challenge. And so we are selective, and it's paid off big time. Yes?
Dean, I know that we tend to concentrate a lot of our student base kind of in the southern half of the state and maybe then in the periphery of the surrounding states. But through the Alpha-Gamma Rho chapter, we're interested in young men throughout. So what are some ways that you might think about the College of Agriculture and selfishly for our own without using us as a conduit for attracting young men specifically to SIU's Carbondale College of Agriculture Science?
Well, that's a good question. So there's one of the pieces that I did in the fall. I taught the UCall class, which is every freshman that comes into college goes into one class. I taught that class. We asked them, what exactly influenced you to come here? So we asked them. So some of the things in which really influenced them coming to college that they thought we should really improve. One, we have to tell our story back. That's classical. In fact, I mean, a little embarrassing. Most people in here are young people, but you will see this too. Agriculture in general has done a poor job of communicating its true value and pulling people along. We have to communicate our message better. One of the things I gave recently, and it is a piece of marketing branding. Many of the people in here probably drive a diesel truck. I'm a big on Ford. If you look at just the evolution of the 7.3 to the 6.0 to the 6.4 and the 6.7, every time you see that come on television, it really pushes technology, innovation, really drives that. So it's not just the vehicle. You would think about engineering and all that. The piece where I'm talking about we're missing, how do we penetrate even a Ford commercial to talk about a biodiesel that's being put in there and how it makes it work better so that you're flavoring it, that agriculture has a component in this big equation. That's something that we want to try to push a little bit, is how do we market and brand yourself as well. The other piece is no different what Michelle Suarez talked about. How do we communicate best with millennials? Now that we have, I would call it open borders for all states for in-state tuition, to reach some of these other farmhouses, other areas of opportunity to bring students in, we got to figure out how can we do that best. So how do we communicate our story better? How do we penetrate those markets? So that's going to be a focus for the spring advisory board meeting here in the college, because the other things that they talk about, they enjoy career opportunities. Our career fairs are top-notch. In fact, the individuals who are hiring our students, they pulled me aside and said, Dean, we have more jobs than you got kids. Well, that's a great position for our students to be in. Career opportunities, they love the faculty, they love how friendly the faculty are, they love how friendly the staff are. If we get them to campus on a visit, and this is part of the reason why these FFA kids, why we invest so much, we know for a fact 78% of them will come. All we got to do is get them to the campus, and we've got a 78% chance of locking them in. So back to a portion of your question about cost. Some of the revenues that we bring in on certain types of courses, I'm meeting with the chancellor next week, and we plow those into scholarships to help reduce that cost. And it's going to be a very creative way. So as we move forward, a portion of what I want to do is I want to create new revenue that we're not dependent on upon salary, plow it into ways into the college that are unique. So for example, could I give our recruiters a bucket of money and have so many dorm rooms available at a half price? That certainly changes the landscape very quickly. So those are the kind of things that we're trying to do currently. Yes?
Dean Latour, I think Chancellor Caldwell and yourself both talked about initiatives to generate funding outside of tuition and state budgets. Last year you kind of updated us on some programs that the College of Ag specifically was working on. How have those initiatives played out?
Well, one of the things that I would this is not to make an excuse. We are not as far along as I hoped. A portion of what I need from the chancellor and the president and upper administration, I need them to help open some doors. Every time you tend to push and move outside the boundary of the norm, I'll be guilty to say it's the institution of no. They find every possible way to tell me no about everything that we do. They don't have enough insurance, they don't have this, they gotta have it. I need above me to help, and that's why I'm having a meeting with them next week. How do you help push those doors open? Last weekend's a perfect example. There's a local individual who's opened up a brewery, and we are in conversation right now. He's considering opening up another brewery in the area, and he's considered opening up a processing plant to make summer sausages, bratwurst, and things, and that's my area. Now, the portion that I did tell him, I don't want it on campus. I'm wore out fighting physical plant. We currently have some funds that we want to invest. Those funds have been in a bucket since 1984. You can't get agreement to how to do something. It gets very complex. So I'm trying to negotiate, can they buy a piece of property right up next to campus, they purchase it, they build it, and we create a letter of agreement or MOU so we can use the facility and we work out some kind of arrangement. The complexity is daunting. We're working on it. As they feel it, as I think the chancellor mentioned, the moment you have these kind of budget crises, it forces conversations no different than going to Cincinnati. It changes some behavior. I'm used to that from Indiana. They operate completely different. So when they got here, they didn't realize what a wall I was going to run into. And so hopefully some of the tricks are coming down and we can get going. But we do want to create a salute broth. There's no question. And I know we can do that. And Gary and I will make some summer sausage. Yes, Don?
I think there's a lot of opportunity here, and I want to thank you and the administration. You're going to host on March 15th an open house panel for the NREC board.
That's correct.
The NREC is a fertilizer tax that the farmers in Illinois pay, and it goes into a pool and be used to do research, water quality, nutrient management, basically to solve the salt hypoxia program. And I think there's a lot of opportunities there when you've got full staff and you can submit research projects, because the land-grant college is retreated north. It goes around town in the spring. There's basically a huge void in the southern half of the state that we at SIU need to be trying to fill, both with the public relations plan and with, that's just a little thing, it's only $4 or $5 million, but there's research projects and things that can come here that the other places are not able to do. We really need to take advantage of some of these things. There's always opportunity in these adverse situations, and there's a lot of opportunity in agriculture, in my opinion, because a lot of the folks are just leaving and been doing these things. So I want to compliment you on being willing to host these folks from upstate. I mean, they've not been spending any money down here in the last year for research projects, and you're positioning yourself to do that. So that's a good positive thing, and we need to build on that. The other thing I'll say is, when I was here as a student, we had Albert Meyer here. He was a full-time public relations person. He blanketed the state with positive SIU Ag College information. And I know that's a difficult thing to do. I had one of the editors for Farm Week call me last week, and she said, I'd like to write a lot more about SIU College of Ag. I've done two articles in the last 2 weeks, and there's a lot more going on, but I need to be facilitated. So I think there's some opportunities there, particularly in the southern half of the state, particularly in the ag media, and particularly in some of these research projects where land-grant college is just not, they don't want to come down here anymore. So I compliment you on opening the door, but we probably need to figure out a way to push the public relations a little harder. And the ag media is hungry for good, positive success stories, and we have a lot of them.
It's a very good point. In fact, Kate Shipman will be here on March 15th to do a story. Her and I have agreed to that story. A portion of that story, which the chancellor did not talk about, that I'm going to focus on, so I'm going to give you the inside scoop of what my story is going to be. Illinois has now moved to number 1 in exporting college-bound students of all states. Number 1. 16 20,500 students leave the state, for every 2,000 come in. It's an 8-to-1 ratio. The point of my article is going to be, I am comfortable with legislators talking about the need for education K-12. The piece that I'm going to try to talk about, you have to continue it on. It's one thing to make a great investment from K-12, but there is the other component past that. Then that ties into jobs and everything else. If we keep losing these young people, just like the ones in here, at a rate of 8-to-1, I am very concerned when he talks about 5 years from now, somebody better be looking at what's going to look like in 5 to 10 years if we're losing those kind of people. Because other articles, when you read them, the moment a student leaves a state and gets educated out of the state, the probability of coming back drops drastically. So that's going to be the focus of my talk with Kay in 2 weeks. So I'm going to do that. And I agree. We have to tell our story better. NREC's coming down here, so I want to tie in that to the soils position. The soils position in my decision for it to go forward, but I want to be very clear about the position itself. It is very easy for us to go find someone to teach soils. I mean, just to teach it. It's different to find someone who can teach it and do research. That's a different individual. So that we know those opportunities are within NREC. If you look at in terms of when the Chancellor talks about a doctoral program and you have research going on, there's ranking of scientific journals. There's a score called an index score from negative to 0 to as high as a 56. 56 would be New England Journal of Medicine, the highest tier journal you can read. We just recently had someone published in Nature, which is a 27. I know from my Purdue days, you hit a Nature journal, you're tenured. It's that level. That is happening here in this college. So in order to have great research and those kind of things, we have to make investment in people who can contribute to that. So that's why we're doing the tenure track. We see the opportunities, and we're going to do that. Certainly the communication piece, I do want to work within Farm Week, but I also want to figure out some other avenues that might penetrate. So we're looking at touching biology teachers, zoology teachers, chemistry teachers, and penetrate new markets as well. Yes, Rick?
Dean, touch on what you said about students exporting. What would our current demographics be here at the College of Agriculture for female, male, and junior college or school year? How does that stack up? Go on the heavy side of junior college?
No, I would say that, so Rick's question is what does profile look like in college? In general, we're about a 50-50 mix of new students to junior college transfer. Over the past 2 to 3 years, we have lost ground on transfer. In 2012, Bob Hauser, who was dean of U of I at the time, I had lunch with him, and he said, you know, we're really going to get aggressive at junior colleges, and we saw that. We saw a uptick. They were picking up some junior college students. We deployed some strategies to improve that, and we have rebounded pretty significantly. So we recognize that part. New students, and again, it's about a 50-50 ratio, and it depends on what program you're talking about. In the case of Gary and them in animal science, where you got pre-vet, you're going to disproportionately more females than males. And then you get into the case of forestry, you have more males than females, but overall, college is about 50-50 split in terms of students. But it's really very sensitive to the program itself. So it really is the community colleges, we put a tremendous amount of effort in that, and we're seeing that bounce back pretty strong. Like I said, I can't share the data. I know they would be very sensitive to it. I know my colleagues would. We're the only one predicted to be up. So that's a good thing. Now keep in mind, last year, when they're talking about we were down as an institution, even U of I was up 1.8%. So this is a major headwind that I'm going to talk to Kay Shipman about. Even someone as mighty as U of I cannot command to just bring people in. They are not hitting the marks they want. They want to grow by 15% over the next 5 years. They're only halfway there. They can't even compete. Now, they can't compete because their tuition has gone up so much. When I was at Purdue, When I was at Purdue, they said, they've priced themselves out of business. We can take any loan. That's why you haven't seen their tuition change. Any other questions? Yes.
I have one question. I recently came back from Florida and this is a friend of mine here. He had a question. He donated to the greenhouse, and his question to me was, what's the status? He said, I'd like to donate a little more, and since Brianna contacted him, but I'd like to know, let him know what the status is, so
Perfect.
comfortable giving some more money to the greenhouse.
It's a good question. So I do have an upcoming meeting, but I'll bring everyone up to speed what has happened with the greenhouse. During the fall of 14 and then the spring of 15, the university had made agreement, the state had made an agreement, and we had enough money put away. It was kind of a three-way partnership. July 1, we were going to go forward with a new greenhouse. We had relocated all our plants, moved them out to the farms. We had actually turned off the heat, water, everything was turned off. We were going forward. July 1 hit. It is not unusual in Illinois that there's no budget in the first month, and then months turn into weeks into months, and then we start to see that this is not going to happen. It's unprecedented. There's no budget, so everything collapsed. The agreements, everything collapsed. I'm not going to get into the gory details. One of the larger donors had asked, send my money back. We did. It was painful. So I called them to see could we reconvert those dollars into enhancing the greenhouse and to be more entrepreneurial. Could we sell off some spot and generate enough cash to do it on our own? That was the intent of that phone call. As soon as I got into the phone call, he said, well, just send us the money back. It was not on my radar that they would want that. So we did. Money was sent back. But the intent of that call was to repurpose those funds to figure out how we could create it. That was done. Move forward. Now we have glass flying off the top onto that sidewalk. So it was presented to the chancellor, and we had a meeting, Susan, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. It's a safety concern now. Because we walked away from that greenhouse. We walked away because we thought it was coming down. Now the plan is, I have, along with the provost, cobbled together enough money to tear it down. It can't be used. So we would rather it be gone than anything. Monday, I meet with him at 1:30. And so Monday, my pitch to him is going to be, you said at our group, you want to be bold, you want to step out. Part of our core mission of our college, we have to have agreements. Make the commitment. Make it. Let's get this done. Let's make it happen. Go ahead and just say, let's get this done, and then let's figure out a solution. But let's make this commitment and go forward. So that is going to be my message to him at 1:30 on Monday. We need a commitment. If you really want to step out there and help, right now I can't have families come in and look at the greenhouse falling apart and recruit in any of our areas. So that's going to be a message Monday. So
What's the cost, the online cost of building the greenhouse? And how much of that do we expect to come from private funds?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say it'd probably be best if we had about 2.5 million. And I think we probably got about 500,000. So we're going to need to figure out a $2 million solution. And that could come between a combination. I would propose a combination, 50% private, 50% the university. That gives me a tremendous amount of leverage with administration. That's the latest on the greenhouse. I wish you guys a great day.
Well, thank you, Dean. Thank you very much. We're going to take a little break here so you can stretch your legs and stuff, but before we do, Michelle, Susan reminded me of something, and March 1 is donation day, SIU day. It says number SIU day. You go to the website, which is siuday.siu.edu, and let's log on to that. $1, $50, $100, whatever you want to do. Trying to get 100% participation and make a donation.
So Rick, when
Yeah.
you go to that website, you'll scroll down and click on the College of Agricultural Sciences. Then you can select what fund you want your donation, big or small. We don't care. But what you'd like it to go to, whether it's the greenhouse fund, the farms, the ambassador program. Each department has a different fund. You get to choose where you want that money to go to.
There you go. Upgraded that. Tying right on to the presentation. All right, let's take a little break, 10 minutes or so, and then we'll regroup for business meeting.
Oh my God. Yeah, my way.